Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with another episode of Project Architect 2. And today we are getting into some cyclics. I've actually went ahead and I have made the solidification chamber and the melting chamber off camera because it's just crafting, nothing too extravagant, but I have not done anything with them because we don't have power to them yet, which is the next portion, which we're going to use some energy pipes for here. And we are just going to pipe this in using these. So let's just disconnect there, do that. That should provide power to these guys. I'm hoping that this will be enough power. I really doubt it because, of course, this is a little bit more than usual, which is 100 RF a tick and I think 1,500 RF a tick, which means that we may need to make a couple more of these guys. I think in total like 10 if we actually calculate that. But that might be a problem for future Shut Door, because I'm just going to try and push through this as much as possible. So, why do we need the solidification chamber? Well, we need to get what is called a diamond anvil. A diamond anvil will repair using energy, which is exactly what we are looking for. So, we need crystallized obsidian. Crystallized obsidian comes from emeralds, crystallized amber, and a block of amethyst with liquid slime. There's a handful of different recipes here, as you can see. I don't think there's really a big difference in most of these besides the amount of liquid slime and the ingredients in like this one. But this requires more liquid slime. This one requires less. And then, of course, this is fire charge, redstone, and gold ingots. You can even do honey if you want, but we're just going to do liquid magma, which, of course, liquid magma comes from magma creams or magma blocks. Yeah, I was thinking block of magma for a second. And this in total will use 12,000 RF and give us 2. So I think we really only need 1. So 1 set will equal 1 magma block. Let's grab a magma block. And we need the actual melting chamber. So this might hurt me because I might have just lost all the power that I put into that, but that's okay. So I put them in the exact same order. Dang it. Hold on. I might get this right. Okay. And then magma block, which is then going to allow for us to get magma. And then what we need to do is we need to grab a bucket. I'm hoping I can do bucket method because this is going to be a little bit quicker than going and making fluid pipes. Now we just need to get the fire charge, redstone block, and gold ingot. So redstone block, gold ingot, and then a fire charge, which I think I have a fire charge. Yes, perfect. So this, and this, and that is going to give us what we need. And that is 2 crystallized amber. And then since we have this, we may as well go ahead and make multiple of these. So emeralds and amethyst blocks. And then how much slime does one make? So 2 per 500. Okay, so 2 per 500. So we'd want to do 4 in that case. So that is a different recipe. Putting 1 in there will give you 250. Putting 2 in there will give you 500. But they have to be in both slots. Okay. So there's 500. And then once we get the full bucket, we'll just scoop it out, scoop it back into the solidification chamber. Beautiful. So click on it with the bucket again. Okay, understood. And just like that, we're going to burn through quite a bit of power. This is going to take a minute because we do not have enough power for this. But it doesn't decrease the rate or the progress that is currently made. So I'm just going to let it run, and I'll be back. All right, so I've actually got the first one. We're going to let that second one just kind of cruise. There's some good stuff you can do with the crystallized obsidian and crystallized amber. Isn't that what it was called? Yes, okay, I just had to make sure. I completely forgot for a second. Like, the armor is actually better than netherite, if you did not know that. Definitely some good stuff to look into. It just takes a little bit. And having the better power system is definitely going to result in better things in the end of the day. At the end of the day. Looks like you can do liquid obsidian with this as well, which is kind of confusing. Is that like... Oh, because that's a forced change. Okay. But yeah, so this is definitely something you could look at if you wanted to get a better set of armor. Definitely immune to knockback, crystal axe, a rainbow cannon, fire lasers at living targets. Definitely some interesting stuff. Of course, also heart containers from Cyclic. I don't know the max amount you could do that with, but definitely sounds fantastic. Teleport Teleports where you look at using ender pearls as fuel. Teleport player using energy. Ooh, that's something I don't think I've ever experimented with. That sounds fantastic. I wonder if it uses GPS cards. That'd be cool. What was that? What was this? Obsidian gems are created in solidification chamber. Okay, I was thinking there may be something else there. All right. So diamond anvil, 3 diamonds, 2 redstone pieces, and 3 blocks of iron. Okay. So powered anvil. This right here, of course, takes power. And when you damage a tool, so for example, if I take off my repair talisman, and we can actually move this over to a power source. That should be powering it. Cool. If we damage, I'm just going to toss this in here. If we damage this tool, and we throw this in here, it's going to, over time, when we turn this on, repair the tool. Okay? So that is very simple, very cool. It just requires power. Now, doing power for this, I don't know how much power it does use per operation or anything of that sort, and I don't think this tells us. Yes, it does not tell us in any capacity. Beautiful. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to keep the power that we have currently in it, and we're going to transmit it that way. Hey, quick interjection here. If you guys are enjoying the content, I would appreciate it if you could leave a like and or subscribe. And if you guys have any comments, advice, anything in the comment section is absolutely appreciated. And yeah, let's get back into the video. So I don't think I've talked about this. That whole spawner hoglin situation, the final result is going to be an automated ham production. I don't think I mentioned it. I think I probably forgot that in the last episode as well. But that's the entire point of this, is because the pig plushie requires one type of food, which is the stuffed hoglin, that is actually not possible to get from like normal mob farm / killing of a mob, right? You need to have a knife to get the ham portion. And so we need to have a way to automate this and produce ham. So what we're using in this is using modular routers. And inside this modular router, there is an activator module. And this activator module will allow for us to attack, which we actually have this set to. So in a 3x3 area, hence why there's no plates right here, you will be able to attack an entity using this knife. Of course, we don't have power in here, so that's not going to happen. But once we have power in this, this will then start swinging. Now, once this goes down too much durability to 0, it'll break, right? That's kind of the problem. So we don't have mending or anything in here, and so we need to make a solution. And this is my solution as of right now. And we will get into a handful more things with this, because we're going to need to go make some thermo generators. We're going to need to go make a couple item pipe and pipe upgrades, which we actually want to get the advanced pipe upgrades in this case, because we're wanting to filter by damage in an aspect. And we may actually not use this. I'm not 100% sure. I think there is a upgrade. I actually just thought about this, so hold on. Let's just look at this on camera, because I can't recall. There is like a... Yes, there's the inspection filter, which is going to allow for us to not have to worry about pipes, because we can actually do that. So let's actually go ahead and go grab this on camera. Let's grab the sender module, and let's also grab a puller module, and let's go get this stuff sorted out here. So let's go home. So we need a bulk item filter. Let's just grab some diamonds. Let's grab... I don't think I have any glass. I do have glass on me. Okay, perfect. And then I do have some of these guys spare. And then iron. Okay. So bulk item filter, and then we're doing the inspection. Let me make sure that's correct. Yes, inspection is what I'm thinking. So let's grab this, and then let's grab some paper. So inspection. So with the inspection one, we should be able to filter for durability. And we're going to say... I think actually we'll need 2 of these, right? Because if I'm thinking about this correctly, we'll want a less than and then greater than. And we'll make sure that we have a probably 15%, which is what this is here. So we're going to do this. And of course, this is really hard to see. So let's actually just change this back to normal light mode. I do apologize because it's going to hurt people's eyes a little bit. But this is actually what it looks like normally. So what we'll do is we can get these other modules. I'm going to toggle this back here. We can go get the Cinder and Puller modules. So Cinder, actually I do have a Cinder module because I crafted these for the farm that I tested and didn't really show you guys. And I also do have Mark IIs from that as well because that was a whoopsie doopsie on my part as well. And, yeah, so Cinder and Puller. So we're going to need a slime, or no, sticky, not slime piston. Goodness gracious. So Puller. So for the Cinder one, we're going to want the less than. And then for the other one, we're going to want the greater than. What I'm thinking, let's actually quickly just toggle this back here. So what I'm thinking is actually we want one that is... greater than, can we do greater than or equal to 100%? Or can we just do equal to? That actually works, 100%. So durability, 100%. So this would be our Puller module. And everything looks weird because it's so bright. I'm sorry. So I would say on the back, we're going to whitelist, and that is going to be that inspection filter. And then we're going to do the exact opposite, where we're going to say durability is less than or equal to 15%. We'll say 15 instead of 10. Okay? And then so our Cinder module, we're going to say on the back, and we're going to do blacklist. Whitelist. Whitelist. Yes, whitelist. Okay. Right? Because this is sending out that item, while this is sending... well, this is pulling from the actual diamond anvil. Okay, so let's just go kind of put this in here. So down here, we should be able... let me actually quickly toggle this back so I stop getting flashbanged. So we're going to put the diamond anvil right behind this. And we're going to say the pull send. What I should be able to do is take my knife, which is at 100% durability. That should pull it. And it should not send it back because it's a full durability knife. So now the portion that we need to do next is get the power, which actually we have energy pipes for this as well. And I think we'll just put... we'll have to put the thermo generators on this level. And then, of course, the block under it, and then the sink and everything. So we should be good to just do... let's say 4 thermo generators, or do we just want to try 2 at first? Let's try 2 at first, I think that sounds good. So let me get those guys, get the fluid hoppers, get the sinks, get everything we could need, and then we'll start with one last piece for the whole thing, and we'll be cruising. All right, I think I've got most of the stuff we need here. So let's get the thermo generator placed, fluid hopper, and this. We could totally have just went and got fluid pipes, but that's okay. This looks cooler. So that should start powering everything once we do this. Right? That should be connected. Okay. So what should happen is if I stand here, should be being attacked. Okay, we just had to click on blacklist. So now... oh, I've got bleeding or something? Oh, no, I think I had, like, regen. So that, once this goes down far enough, this will then, or should, I won't say will, should send out the back and then get repaired, get pulled back through, and then kind of repeat and repeat and repeat. Now, the other thing is, I think this should drop the items on the ground, so we'll have to do like an absorption hopper or something here, which is not my biggest problem. The biggest problem, how do we actually turn this on? And that is actually really simple. We grab what is called a redstone link from Create. What is this? Linked redstone crystal. Huh, I don't know what that is. But anyway, redstone link. This is a brass casing with a redstone torch. Brass casings, you may kind of guess, they are brass ingots with stripped logs, just how andesite casings are. So let's go back home. Why do I keep doing that? I'm like right next to this where I could just teleport home instantly. So brass, I should have a couple pieces of brass left. I do. So we do need 2 of these. So do keep that in mind. And we'll just do this. We'll strip them. And then we'll put some brass on them. And then we'll break them. And then redstone torches. 1, 2. Put this both in here. Oh, it's got to be that way. Okay. Oh, actually, apparently that makes a pair. I kind of forgot that. Well, now we have multiple just in case we need them in the future. So let's actually snag up a warped fungus, because I'm going to use this as the frequency. Hey, that's not turned off. That's okay. And then we're just going to put this right here. And I actually think I need to go back in. I'm going to toggle this off by turning whitelist back on. And we need to make this have a little umbrella, which is just right-clicking with the Create Wrench. And we're going to do warped fungus on the red there. And the warp fungus here. So you can see there's frequency 1 and frequency 2. Basically, what this allows for you to do is set several frequencies across your base so you don't overlap them. So if you have a whole bunch in a confined area, that's one of the ways you could do this. This, since we won't have anything nearby, is not really necessary. But just to ensure that we're all good, that should be golden. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to probably grab a lever, which we will just grab real quick here. And we should see this thing turn on. So I'm actually going to cover this up a little bit and then turn whitelist off. And we should see the Hoglin getting damaged. So we should see, hopefully, everything. Ham doesn't drop all the time, by the way. I will mention that. And I'm actually going to grab this diamond backpack and just kind of dump everything. And it looks like actually Ham did drop, which is beautiful. Okay. Well, that is working. We are getting Ham. So what I also want to do, which I probably should have checked beforehand, is where this is actually located in the chunks. But that's okay. We are going to shift, click, and chunk load this area. Which I think, in all honesty, this is one chunk in of itself, right? This is small enough. Yes, this is actually small enough to be inside of one chunk. So that's actually pretty cool as well. So let's unload these chunks and just keep this one loaded. Yeah. Very, very slow. It looks like the children are kind of pushing against it. So we may have to probably upgrade the vector plates, but or add range to this. We may just add range to it. I don't know how much range this thing can take, but let's actually just go back and activate some range. And good at absorption hopper. Okay. So we want to grab an absorption hopper. We'll just do that first here. So obsidian and a hopper. I actually went ahead and made some hoppers off camera. Did not mean to do that. And we will grab obsidian. And then do we need an eye of ender? Yes. Had to make sure it was an eye of ender and not just an ender pearl. Okay, absorption hopper. And we'll need some kind of chest. I did not mean to do that. I was trying to just shift it out of my hotbar for a second. Can I convert these into sophisticated storage? I was having some issues trying this. But it's just a redstone torch. And no one other packs. See, I don't think that works in this pack, which is kind of strange to me. It shows it works with that, but it just doesn't work with normal chests. Okay, that's just kind of strange. So let's just go grab some oak chests. And we'll just make them immediately. So let's grab some iron. And some gold. You know what? Let's actually do a double chest. Which I think double chests are in this version. Let's confirm. Okay. That'll just give us a little bit more storage. And then I think we also have stack upgrades somewhere in here. Doesn't look like we do, so let's just make one. Okay, we'll stick with the 1 and a 2. That should work. Okay. And then I will go grab the range upgrades here in a second. I just wanted to do this first. So we'll just do absorption hopper, and then we're going to run chest. And then this is facing the northern direction. So north. And that is a very, very simple Hoglin farm. It's not really that complicated, I don't think. I'm just kind of curious if this will actually work. Yeah, I mean, we can see that durability goes down every single time. And then I don't even know what 15% of 2031 is. 15%... So 305, 304, around about there. It's like 304.65. So it's such a strange durability number as well. So we should be good. But that is going to give us ham. We'll probably throw an ender chest on this sooner or later because that will give us the ability to send this to the overworld. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to let this sit here for a second. Actually, while we're doing that, I guess we can go grab the range upgrades like I said I was going to. So, range upgrade. Range up. Range up. That's what they're called. Range up augments. There we go. So this augment requires blank and both blank types. So blank module, blank upgrade. And I don't know how much this actually increases the range either. So that should be interesting. So we actually could grab a couple of these if we wanted to. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Let's grab a handful. Oh wait, there's 4 per. Hold on. I don't want to make a couple then. I keep doing that. We're like, I need to make more of them. And then it's like, hey, wait, this gives me way more than I thought originally. Okay, so we're going to go inside of this module. And then this slots here is where we're going to put these. Whoa, it doesn't allow me to give an extra range. Okay. So, well... That's a good idea, but it doesn't work. Alright, hey, we tested things. So, what I want to do is we are going to try and automate one piece of the pig real quick. Maybe not quickly. This is probably going to take a little bit of time. And I want to just kind of get some of the basic pieces here real quick, which is 3 energy condensers. And hopefully we have enough diamonds to do a few of these energy collectors. So we're going to just get the base components set up for next episode, which is going to be actually completing this. So we're going to kind of keep on keeping on with this train of automating everything. It's just we're going to be a little bit slower at certain points because we have to get, you know, things that aren't EMCable. So let's grab... I probably want to grab a decent chunk of these. Why am I doing this way? Hold on. Let's just grab like a stack of glowstone. I'm not really worried about EMC right now. We have 7 million because I grabbed out so many diamonds earlier. We need I'm actually going to say 6 of these. 2 per, and that should be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a mushroom. What is it called? So I know it's the warped fungus and the crimson fungus. Okay, so these two, and then the other thing that we need is bowls. I think that's everything. Because basically what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to be getting the dish that is all Hoglin materials. Pig, plushie, and then we go to... So, pig plushie, stuffed hoglin. So here's the recipe. It looks like there's actually a Miner's Delight one, too. That seems to be smaller, which is kind of interesting. I don't think that's going to be useful in any capacity, but that's just something to think about. You could also make this in the mixing piece. But we're going to do this without any extra fuel requirements. Okay. So, the raw stuffed hoglin, which does... Okay, so this requires crimson roots and this. So that actually I didn't account for. So let's go with a couple more energy condensers, which is expensive, but it's going to be worth it. Because if I don't have to craft these, because these are not that easy, because these are not stackable. So you have to do that by standing there putting one after the other, after the other, after the other. That's why I'm going after this one first. But we're going to want to grab a couple more of these guys, which means that we're going to need a little bit more diamonds. Worst case scenario, I have to pull them out of the system there. EMC tablet. Table. So shift. So that's 2 of those. Okay. So now we have every ingredient covered. So this, of course, is going to be a problem because this is only craftable, right? We can't do this any other way unless we got into this, which that is just a little bit further than I would like to go into create for right now. So let's just go get the pieces set up. And I think what we can do is there is a thing in thermal. Thermal expansion. I do believe it's thermal expansion. Yes, sequential fabricator. Which we can just tie off the existing power system. And we can put this in as a pattern. And we should then be able to craft the raw stuffed hoglin using that. I'm not against doing create, by the way. I'm also trying to conserve space near this as well. So, I think we'll just go and we will grab kind of an area for this. Okay, so I wanted to kind of mess with some things here. So I crafted all that stuff up, and then I tried a couple things, and I was like, you know what? Let's do this a little bit more intelligently. So what we're going to do is we are going to place these guys as such. So we are just going to snag all of these energy condensers that I have set down here. And I will quickly just backpack all of the crimson roots that I am picking, or the warped roots. So just quickly threw all of those warped roots in my backpack, because that was going to be a second. And we're just going to place all of these guys down like so. The reason I'm going to do this is because we're going to use functional storage drawers here in a minute to make our lives a lot easier. So let's just quickly get all of that placed down. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up a drawer system over on this side with these materials. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So animal fat, ham, hoglin hide, and hoglin loin. And then we're also going to set up a drawer system up above, or the drawers up above, with all of the other items that we're needing. So I actually do need to keep one of these on me. And then the crimson, or the warped roots, and I don't have the crimson roots. So let's actually just run back home here, which I did pick this up because I was moving it, because we were on like a hill and I wanted to have that space. So let's go and grab the crimson roots, which of course needed for stuffed hoglin, just making sure. And let's move this back up. Okay, nothing good. All right. So that should allow for us to then get a drawer with that set. So let's lock these all in, by the way. And then we also probably want to grab a bowl drawer. And what was the other ones? Am I missing something? So I know, of course, the nether salad, which I think we can do in one drawer, and then the raw stuffed hoglins in another. And then that will then allow for us to then have a third drawer. Okay, so I missed the warped roots. We're going to put those where the bowls were, and we're going to transition the bowls up here. And then we'll do the nether salad, raw stuffed hoglin, and then the actual fully cooked hoglin right there. Okay, so let's get this going. So I've got one of everything here. And we're just going to go back over to here. And we're just going to do warped fungus, crimson fungus, the bowls, and then crimson roots, and then warped roots. So that should be golden. I still need to get the controller and everything, which I don't have right now. But that will come down the line here in a second. And then I also have all of these warped roots in my backpack. Just going to toss these guys in here to convert them. Doesn't really matter. We need more bowls, right? Got anything else I can just, like, junk in here that I don't really need on me? Okay. Let me go grab the storage controller here. And, actually, I might... No, I can do one. I can do one. I can just do an item pipe row here. And then a pipe here. And that'll be good. I need to grab more pipes, apparently, too. So let me grab a couple more things, and I'll be right back. Alright, we've got the item pipes. And we're actually going to use a controller access point here. And the storage controller, we're just going to leave that over here. That way, we're not having any weird issues or anything. So we're going to swap this to multiple. Okay. And we'll just do this back to single. And then we're going to make sure this is linked. And then we're just going to do this. And then we're going to... Nothing's EMC-able inside of this, by the way. But I am going to disconnect this for a second. And I'm probably going to disconnect all of these independently for now. Because then I can do this without them flooding each other or causing any issues or anything of that sort. Okay? And then same thing here. And then we'll just reconnect. And that should hopefully start filling these guys slowly. Because it is very, very slow because I don't have any pipe upgrades. I will probably invest in those here in a second. But that should be functioning to the point of now having all of this kind of in a drawer system, having it where we can actually access it and see how much we have. And then now all we have to do for automating this is just use a controller access point like over here or somewhere else, right? We could have our sequential fabricator here and here, one where the nether salad's being made, and then one where our raw stuffed hoglin's being made with a controller access point like in the ground here, and that will be fantastic. But we're going to do that in the next episode. This episode has went on a little bit longer than I think I intended, but that is okay. We are cruising, we are going, and we are getting closer and closer to, you know, having the stuffed hoglin, and then after that, we can start looking at getting these other ones automated, which in all honesty, a lot of these are not that complicated, right? We've got the farms in place, we've got chicken eggs being produced over on the Drigme mob farm, we've got just a handful of things that would need to be cooked before anything. We've got iron furnaces that are able to help us with that. So definitely some good stuff. Definitely some things we are going to be looking at here in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome. And again, we see you in the next one. Bye-bye.